Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'm your host, Austin Slaybaugh, and today I'm visiting with professional wedding videographers Jeremy Clan and Emily Cavis. How we doing, guys?
Good.
Wonderful.
How are you?
Awesome, I'm doing great. Stay tuned, we got a lot of great stuff coming up.
See ya.
Hi, my name is Austin Slaybaugh. I'm a student at Open University. Most of my time is spent on campus in class, but when I'm not hitting the books, I'm visiting professionals.
Today on Visiting Professionals, I'm meeting with wedding videographers Jeremy Clan and Emily Cavis. Together, Jeremy and Emily started Jarmax Productions, where they specialize in high-end, cinematic-style wedding videography. The duo stay very busy throughout the year, filming and editing multiple weddings. Jeremy and Emily were kind enough to invite me and the team to an actual wedding to get a glimpse of what they do and to see just how special their profession really is. Hey, how's it going, Jeremy?
Wonderful.
So what do we got going on today?
So we're here at the Hampton Inn. We are filming Gentleman and Troy's wedding and about to go knock it out of the park.
Awesome. Lead the way, man.
Let's go.
Jeremy and Emily led myself and the team to the hotel room where the bride and the bridesmaids were preparing for the big day. Jeremy and Emily wasted no time and jumped right into capturing some amazing and fun footage of the ladies. So, Jeremy, what exactly is it that you're trying to capture while we're here right now?
Well, the way I look at it is we're trying to retell the story of her day, and if we can do a Reader's Digest version, so to speak, of the bridal prep stuff, that's what we're doing right now. So we're prepping up detail shots, getting ready, hair and makeup, getting stuff with the dress, shoes, any kind of special details that is special to their day. That's what we're really trying to capture right now.
So, Jeremy, we just finished up filming the bride. Now, what are we doing next?
So we're gonna head over to the Lamb Christian Church. We're gonna meet up with the groom. We're gonna film all the groomsmen and do the bride prep with the groom, with the guys, and get ready to film the ceremony. Here's what we're trying to do this all like together as one motion. So we're gonna have you doing that up. So Trey's gonna grab the coat, put your coat on, you kind of adjust them to both sides, handshake, hug, pat on the butt, whatever, I ain't gonna judge. Then we'll be good to go. You guys are easy. Let's get on.
So we just finished up getting the first look between the parents and the bride. Now, what exactly are we going to be using equipment-wise to capture the whole ceremony?
No, come on over, let's take a look.
All right, sweet. Whoa, man, so you have a bunch of cameras here. Can you tell me what all these different cameras do?
Absolutely, so this is a collection of many years of being in the business, but so obviously first, most important, my baby, the A7 III. This camera is great for videographers. They love it for weddings. We are slowly trying to fully migrate to the Sony system. Canon treated us great for years, but they kind of fell behind with the mirrorless, which tends to be what a lot of people are going to, is the Sony mirrorless.
Now, is there a reason that you use 4 cameras for each shoot that you go to?
We try to communicate with the photographers. We definitely try to stay out of their way. If we shoot with multiple different cameras, if they get in one of our angles, it's not a big deal because we have other cameras covering the shots.
Now, I see we have some other stuff hanging here. Can you tell me exactly what these mics are here?
Yeah, so we got the Tascam DR10Ls. Those are pretty much the go-tos for miking up grooms and officiants on wedding day. They give a backup recording, so it'll record at the level you set it at, and then also a safety level a little bit lower, just in case a clipping happens.
Now, what exactly is this used here for?
So the Zoom H6, we hook that up to the reception DJ board. That's going to capture everything that comes in, speeches, toasts, all the music. gives us, again, it also has a backup record feature where it gives us the level we're recording at and then a safety level a few decibels below.
What do we have in that case sitting over there?
That's our gimbal, so that's the Zhiyun crane. It's the original version 1.
So this helps you be a little bit more run and gun. You can move a little bit quicker.
Definitely, and it gives those nice smooth shots for whatever it is that we happen to be shooting.
The big moment had arrived, and Jarmax Productions was there, ready to work their magic. The setting at the church was perfect, and the bride looked stunning. Jeremy and Emily did a fantastic job capturing every moment to create a high-quality wedding film that will stand the test of time. Coming up after the break, I learn more about Jeremy and Emily's careers in wedding videography as I get to sit down with them and ask some important questions about their careers. All right, stay tuned, guys. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. Welcome back to Visiting Professionals. Today, I'm with Jarmax Productions, a wedding videography company. I'm visiting with Jeremy Clan and Emily Cavis. I had some important questions for them both, and they were happy to share their knowledge. Well, guys, I just want to thank you so much for sitting down with me here in the studio today. And before we get things started, I just kind of want to get to know a little bit about yourselves. Did you guys grow up around the Michigan area, or where are you from?
I grew up mainly Washtenaw County area, Saline, graduated from Dundee. But yeah, pretty much Washtenaw County area, Michigan for the most part.
Yeah, I grew up in Clinton pretty much for the vast majority of my high school and middle school career. So I graduated from there, where most of my family graduated from.
So you guys are wedding videographers. If you had to explain that to somebody who didn't know what that was, what would you say that job really entails?
We have the fun task of providing the memory of their special day. And it's so much different from, you know, what Uncle Bob provided, 20 years ago with his VHS camcorder on his shoulder. We're telling stories. The equipment that we have, the technology that's out there is so much better than what it used to be. And a lot of couples don't understand how far along it's come. So we're essentially giving them, about a 10-minute highlight video recapturing their day, and it almost looks like a mini, cinematic movie. They love it.
That's very cool. Now, how did you guys both get involved or started in that career?
It was actually something I would have never thought of doing for me, but when we started dating a little over 5 years ago, he kind of was like, "Hey, guess what you get to do?" And he gave me a camera, and I kind of been doing it ever since. Did
you have any prior schooling at all, or was this just something where you picked up the camcorder, like you said, and it just kind of went from there?
The only schooling I would say that I had a friend in my senior year. We would film like the announcements, the school day announcements, who won the football game that day, what's for lunch, what's the weather like, and we did kind of a multi-camera setup, and of course I was a cameraman. But so my friend that was a senior with me, he later on went to go to Hollywood and became a cameraman for, movies and whatnot. So he kind of taught us multi-camera videography, and also that's where I learned how to edit. And when I graduated from Dundee High School, I bought, I don't even remember what kind of editor it was, but it was garbage. And I put it on my computer, and I was just kind of messing around with the clips and just teaching myself how to edit and just kind of playing around with it and seeing what I could do, because I just loved it. And then it just kind of escalated from there. But no proper schooling, I'd say. Just self-taught, and with YouTube and stuff, and the communities that are out there, and being able to learn from them and bounce ideas off of other people in our field. It's just that is the schooling that we get.
With both of you guys filming the weddings, what roles do each of you handle when it comes to the big day?
She's got the difficult roles.
I do run cameras, I set up audio, I carry equipment, I do stuff like that. I'm much more of a assistant, second shooter. He is definitely our lead videographer. He's more creative with the video shots. I will set up cameras and run them, but A lot of my job has to do with the couple. I figure out problems before they become problems and solve them. I've done everything from sew a bride into her dress.
Multiple times.
Sew a dress that was never finished by a bridal shop and was just left with pins in it. Rearrange floral arrangements. Boutonnieres, pin boutonnieres, make sure all the guys have their pocket squares the same way. A lot of the detail stuff that people don't really think about is where I go, you know, make sure bride and groom have something to drink or make sure they've eaten. My job becomes a lot more of the personal issue, the personal service with the bride and groom, like I said, for the first part of the day. And then once we get into the wedding and the ceremony and the reception part, then I start running usually multiple cameras.
She's handling situations while I'm able to film stuff that's going on.
Yeah, there's more to the job than just filming with the camera. You got to make sure that the clients are happy too. You guys, you know, you get to experience tons of weddings. Most people only get to experience one big day, you know, so there's a lot of pressure. You guys do a great job of handling all that with everybody.
There's definitely a lot of stuff that people don't consider, you know, because realistically, hopefully, they're only going to go through this one time. So, but the point is, yeah, there's things that we've experienced. There's problems that have come up that we've either handled ourselves or we've seen how they were handled. And we don't like to just consider ourselves just videographers for your wedding day. We want to be used as resources. If you have any problems, if you have any speed bumps along the way when it comes to planning, you know, we're going to tell you how we've handled it in the past or how we've seen it handled, and we're going to, you know, help you out in your day, because the smoother we can help your day go, the better it's going to be for us filming your day and being able to tell your story.
We talked a little bit about your guys' roles that you play, but what's the day actually like? What's the first thing that you do when you get there, or even before you get there, and the last thing that you do when you wrap up?
The first thing is always packing the equipment for the day, making sure we have everything. We've gotten pretty good at that, I think, over the last few years, making sure that everything's pretty much condensed. And then, you know, from there, it just depends on the bride's timeline for the day. We typically start with her when she's getting hair and makeup done, and we end, you know, kind of at the end of the night when the last person's out on the dance floor, like drunk Uncle Bob, doing the worm on the dance floor is usually our ending time. And then, you know, repacking up and heading back home.
We love doing what we do. We love being able to go out and see new sites and experience this day with people and provide those memories for them.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys really care a lot about, you know, your bride and groom.
Yes.
Yeah, so you guys also, you don't just film as well. You guys take all of your footage and you put it into a whole entire package for the bride and groom as well too, yes?
Yeah, definitely. Thankfully, again, another one of her roles, she's a lot more creative when it comes to, especially gift giving. So our final product, we deliver on a wooden personalized USB stick. It's got our logo on one side, and then we laser engrave their name on the other side. And if it was just me, I'd have just, there you go, there's your product. But you know, she's took it a step further. And
so after we get the whole video done, I put it together in a gift box, and it usually includes, I do like a movie night gift box. So I put a couple little miniature bottles of wine, some microwave popcorn, candy, and then their video in there, or their USB stick. So when they get it, they can, you know, sit at home and have a movie night with and watch their video.
Those little touches go a long way.
Yeah,
and thankfully she does that, because that's so not me to do that.
So what's something about this career path that people standing on the outside don't really know until they do get involved in the industry?
Yeah, so wedding videography to us, I mean, yeah, it's expensive to get into, definitely, or it can be. But the reward, not only financially, but just knowing that you're providing this product for this couple that they're going to be able to share with their kids and their kids' kids later on, you know, to us is priceless. I mean, I would love to have, you know, a wedding video of my grandparents, you know, getting married, or my great-grandparents getting married. Obviously, that technology wasn't around back then. One
thing that I like to say is that the video isn't necessarily just for the couple. It's for their kids and their grandkids. And, you know, as much as it's kind of a sad thing to say, weddings can tend to be the last big event for some family members. So if we can get grandma and grandpa on video laughing and having a good time, and one thing that we do is we get messages from grandparents and family members during the video. So if we can get that marriage advice from grandma and grandpa, 75 years, of a happy marriage, that's something that's going to be treasured through the family for years and years to come. And, their great-grandkids are going to be able to look back on that. Whereas if they didn't have the video, those memories might be lost.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't even think about. I was just thinking, it was for the bride and the groom, but I never thought of it in that aspect of how it really means something to not only them, but also the rest of their family and their kids.
Yeah, I mean, photography's great. You can look at a photo and see the same thing day in and day out. We're not knocking photography at all, but just the emotion of, the spoken word and seeing, grandma and grandpa out there dancing and, cutting a rug and hopefully not breaking a hip. But yeah, video takes it that one step further, kind of what, I think Emily's coined the phrase, video picks up where photography leaves off, and videography as in the wedding industry is getting so much more prevalent and important, and a lot more couples are really starting to see the value in that.
Coming up after the break, our interview comes to a close with Jeremy and Emily as I ask them some more important educational questions about their careers. When Visiting Professionals continues. Welcome back to Visiting Professionals. Today, I'm with Jeremy Klan and Emily Kavis, the dynamic duo of Jarmax Productions. I had some final questions for Jeremy and Emily, and they were excited to share their professional insight.
Now, I know that you mentioned that it was expensive to get into wedding videography. How so? Are you talking about the equipment?
With us, we'll shoot a ceremony with up to 5 cameras. That's kind of extreme, I'd say. But today's cameras that shoot 4K, you're looking, $2,000 and $3,000 just for the camera body. The majority of the people in the industry will shoot with DSLRs or mirrorless cameras. Not a lot of people shoot with actual video cameras much anymore. I'm not saying that they don't, but it's just, in my opinion, the DSLRs give a certain look that video cameras can't match in some aspects. So not only are you talking about the camera bodies, but you're talking about all the lenses as well. You're talking about audio equipment. You're talking about tripods. You're talking about all the things you need to carry all your equipment. You're talking about insurance. You're talking about possible drones if you want to get into that market as well.
One thing that most people don't think about with wedding videography is the audio. A lot of people will say, will comment, oh, I just want it filmed. You don't have to edit it. I don't want anything like that. But they don't understand that, when you put so much into these videos, you need that professional audio. We mic the groom, the officiant, we mic the board wherever we're at, the DJ board, the board at the church, and editing all that together. If you just have somebody standing in the background with a camera, you're not going to hear the voice, their voices when they say their vows. You're not going to hear that hitch that he usually has when he, is saying his vows, that little, so the audio equipment, I think, is something that most people don't consider. How important it is to have really good audio equipment and how expensive really good audio equipment is.
You can have great video, but if you have crap audio, it's a bad video. You can have an okay video with great audio, it's going to make it a better video.
What advice would you guys give to a student or anybody that's watching at home about getting into this industry and this career?
People learn things differently. I literally could sit there all day long and watch YouTube videos. Emily's more of a hands-on, has to have a camera in her hands, and me kind of explaining to her, okay, now do this, and if you change this setting, this is what it's going to affect. So it really kind of depends on how you learn. I'll watch videos all day long. I'll bounce ideas off of, there's a group on Facebook that's invaluable to us called Wedding Film School, and we bounce ideas off each other all the time. Every weekend we're in the process now of on Sunday or Monday, I'll post, hey, what did you learn while shooting this weekend? What were some of the problems that you had? How did you handle those problems? Or did you handle them? Or how would you handle them, in the future? So it's a constant learning process. So you have to be a special breed of person to get into wedding videography. You have to have a passion for helping the couple, I think. Because it's not just the end product that you're giving them, later on. In my opinion, the experience that you're giving them on their day as it's happening is huge as well. And that's where Emily comes in. She definitely helps out there a lot more than I ever could.
Definitely think you have to have a team player mentality too, because you can't go into a wedding thinking that you're more important or your product is more important. You know, you have DJs and photographers and florists and planners and, you know, a whole host of other people on that day that you really have to work as a team with. And that is a huge thing that I've learned, is if you don't have that team player mentality, the day's gonna fail and you're not gonna be able to give the bride and groom the best possible product at the end of the day. And that's kind of the goal, is for all of us to be able to work together to make their day amazing. So being a team player and being able to go in with an open mind and be ready for anything.
Yeah,
Absolutely anything.
there's definitely no room for ego when it comes to wedding vendors.
You guys spend all this time filming. Where do you ever find time to edit and actually put the video together?
As our process goes, usually the night of, when we get back from wedding day, I will take our SD cards. They will get backed up on 2 separate hard drives before we delete before we delete the SD cards. And then they kind of sit there for a while until we get to that wedding, because we definitely have a backlog. You know, we're filming 31-ish weddings this year. There's definitely a backlog. I'm not proud of it, but it happens. You know, when you go 2 weekends in a row where you have a Friday, Saturday wedding, and then the next weekend is another Friday, Saturday wedding, I'm sorry, unless you have somebody that's shooting or that's editing off site, you can't keep up with that. You just can't do it. So it's literally, you really have to sit down and dedicate, 3-4 hours a day, at least, depending on what you're providing as an end product. And for us, we're giving the entire ceremony. We're giving everything that is scheduled at the reception. We're giving the messages from bridal party and parents and friends and family and stuff. And we're also providing that highlight film.
I know you also mentioned that you backed up all your footage onto 2 separate hard drives. Is there a reason that you used 2 separate hard drives, or?
Definitely. If I was a little bit more crazy, which some videographers are, we'd do more than 2. It's one of those things that every professional should do, is have multiple backups of their product just in case.
Is there one piece of gear that you guys would really recommend buying, because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to do everything it is that you do?
Literally, especially with wedding videography, you can't narrow it down to one piece of equipment. Just like we're a team doing this together. Audio and video goes together as a team. So if you're going to spend all your money on a video camera or a lens and skimp on audio, you're really hurting yourself. And again, it goes the other way as well. If you're going to spend all your money on audio equipment, that's great, but you still need the optics and the video cameras to go along with it to be able to tell a story that not only sounds great, but looks great as well. So yeah, you really can't narrow it down to one single piece of equipment. It's, like I said, with us being teamwork, there's teamwork with equipment as well.
What would you say is your guys' end goal with wedding videography? Where do you guys really see yourself going in this business?
I mean, as of right now, we both work full-time jobs. So ultimately, to be able to quit those jobs and focus on video full-time would be great. I think we have kind of a plan in our head where we need to be, a goal of how many weddings we need to be able to film each year to kind of be able to live comfortably. I don't think this is a job where we ever have envisioned, becoming millionaires. But being able to do what we love and make a living where we can, be comfortable is kind of where we're aiming to go. So we have an idea of the amount of weddings we have to do each year. We think the price point we need to get to do those amount of weddings, to be able to both quit jobs and just be able to do this full time.
Now, I have one last question here before we wrap everything up. Is this the best job in the world?
Maybe. No. We get to celebrate the happiest days of most people's life so far. I don't want to say the happiest day ever, because some people have babies and all that stuff, but we get to do it together, and we get to be with people on, for the most part, the happiest day they've had so far. I think it's pretty amazing.
Best job in the world, I mean, it's up there. The one thing I can say for sure is I wouldn't want to be dedicating my time to anything else. This is what I love doing.
Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'd like to give a special thanks to Jeremy Klan and Emily Kavis. Until next time, guys, I'm your host, Austin Slaybaugh, signing off.